welcome back to episode 3 of CKSS Bible Study Group. Today we have a great lesson. We also have a guest today, which happens to be me and Carl's father. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Carl.
Okay, and I'm Sharice. Hopefully you guys will know from watching our other videos.
I'm Carl.
I'm Camry. And I'm Sharon.
Okay, do you want to explain this?
Alright, today I'll be talking, the topic is I Can't Take It. The sermon is called I Can't Take It, basically like saying I can't take it anymore. It's a study that I did from when I listened to Pastor Symbol Symbala from Brooklyn Tabernacle. So, in this study I'm going to take us in the Old Testament, and we learned that bad things can happen when God's people lose their faith. In the Old Testament, it talks about how when God's people was rescued from Egypt and went into the desert. While in the desert, there were 12 spies that were sent to go look at the promised land. That report changed the history of the people that God brought out of Egypt. So now, just want to turn to Numbers. Read from Numbers chapter 13, verse 25 through 30.
The men explored the land for 40 days, then returned home. At this time, Moses, Aaron, and the children of Israel were camped near Kadesh in the wilderness of Aram. The men showed everyone the fruit of the land and told them that they had seen what they had seen. They said to Moses, "We explored the land as you told us, and it is truly a land that is rich and fertile, a land with abundance of fruit. The only problem is that the people who live there are giants. They are powerful people, and their cities are large, protected with high walls. They are the descendants of Anak. The Amalekites live in the south. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites live in the mountains to the north, and the original Canaanites are scattered along the Jordan River and on towards the Mediterranean Sea." The report scattered the children of Israel, and they start complaining and criticize Moses for taking them out of Egypt. Then Kiribel and Joshua called for silence and said to the people, "Let's not be afraid to go up and take the land. Look at what God can do. Look at what He has done already. With His help, we can do it."
Alright, Sharice, can you read from Numbers chapter 14, verse 1 through 4, please?
Okay. This is from New Living Translation. Then the whole community began weeping aloud, and they cried all night. Their voices rose in a great chorus of protest against Moses and Aaron. "If only we had died in Egypt, or even here in the wilderness," they complained. "Why is the Lord taking us to this country only to have us die in battle? Our wives and our little ones will be carried off as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt?" Then they plotted among themselves, "Let's choose a new leader and go back to Egypt."
That's it. So now, everybody, y'all hear that? That the promised land, everybody get ready to go to the promised land, and then they see the giants, and then now they focusing on the eyes, they focusing on, what they see, and they start complaining. You know what I mean? What type of instance in your lifetime did you feel that you seen something that was so big that you felt like you wanted to complain, or you felt like you got kind of scared to where you was like, I don't think this is for me? Because that's basically what they did. They did look at the promised land and it was like, man, I don't think this is for me. These guys are big, they're huge. I don't think it's for me. I think God's making a mistake. Any instance in any one of our lives where we can talk about where you seen this, you was in a situation came up and you was like, man, this might be too big for me?
No. I just think I serve a big God, and He can do anything.
So, alright, so when God hears that and the 10 spies majority report, so he sent 12 and 10 of them, came back and said, I don't know about this. So that goes to show that voting never finds the will of God. Voting never finds the will of God. The majority can be totally off in a church or any group of people. Democracy is great for America, but you can't decide spiritual things that way. The vote was 10-2. 10 people said we can't, and 2, Joshua and Caleb believed that they could. Joshua and Caleb looked at it like, hey man, don't worry about what they got to say, man. We got God on our side. We can defeat them. God is with us. Look what God did for us back then. You know what I mean? He's with us. We don't have to worry about what we see. He's with us. So, but the thing about it is, God got so angry that he said to Moses, all the people who are moaning and complaining will not see the promised land. Joshua and Caleb will be the only one to see the promised land. Since they won't trust me after all I've done for them, they will just walk around the promised land for 40 years. For each day that you survey the land, their unbelief knocked them out of the box. A lot of people think this has nothing to do with us, but it does. So, can somebody read from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 6 and verse 10? Verse 6 and verse 10.
These things happen as a warning to us, so that we will not crave evil things as they did, or worship idols as some of them did.
And now 10. Verse 10.
And don't grumble as soon as some of them did, and then were destroyed by the angel of death.
So what do y'all get out of that? Like, what do y'all get out of people, complaining and stuff like that? What do y'all get out of that?
I got from this that you're not supposed to be complaining about anything that that you decided to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also got from it that when you're complaining, you are missing the journey to that's taking you to the victory.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to complain, because you want to just forget all the journey that you've gone through, and that's really supposed to be your testimony. After you get before you get to your victory. So when you complain, you kind of missing that process.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're basically saying that when you complain, you're so distracted about yourself and about complaining that you're missing the whole journey. That's supposed to be the best. The journey is better than the destination.
Yeah.
So when we complain, we're not focusing on the journey God's taking us on. We're just focusing on why we can't have what we want right now.
But and also that when you complain, you kind of slowing down the big trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the end of the road.
So complaint is actually defeating yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I was talking with Comedy earlier, when she said something about how the angels, they take back the words that you say, carry them to God and say, hey, this person, whether it's a good thing, whether you're speaking over your life, they're taking it back to God and saying, hey, this person has faith. Or if you're complaining, that's what the angels taking back to God, and it can't work in your life because of the complaining is delaying your footstep. It's delaying your footsteps. So I think your tongue might seem like one of the smallest muscles in your body, but it's also the most powerful muscle in your body. So
complaining is like when you complain, God let you walk around the victory. If you see the victory, just like they walk around the promised land and never enter.
Mm-hmm.
So when you complain, that distance you away from your victory. You can see the victory, you see,
mm-hmm.
but you can't reach it because you are complaining, so you just walk around it.
So now these were God's people who missed out. So that is why Paul is telling us in 1 Corinthians 10 to watch out, because there are lessons to be learned from this. The lesson that can be learned from this is, do we trust his promises and believe in them? Do we have enough faith? When the spies looked at the promised land, they saw giants and got scared. They saw circumstances, and the circumstances got bigger than God's promises. When we as God's people lose our faith, a lot of bad things happen. They started panicking, having pity parties, and crying. It wasn't good crying either. It was fear-filled crying. A lot of times when we throw tantrums, it's because we lose our faith. When you lose your faith in God, you lose your peace, your joy, and you give into any kind of crazy emotions. So, I can speak of myself. That is true, because when you lose your faith, you don't have peace anymore, and it's just like you want to feel sorry for yourself. Feeling sorry for yourself is a selfish desire, because you're focused on only yourself. You know what I mean? When you start focusing on yourself, then it's easy to fall into temptation, because you feel that God don't care about you no more, and all that type of stuff. And just instead of just focusing on God, saying, okay, it might look like a challenge, but I'm just gonna take this challenge head on.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do when you're going through anything, because I know we're all going through things. The best thing to do while you're going through the journey on the process is to help people, encourage people. Go out and volunteer or something like that, because it will take your mind off of what you're going through, and you're helping somebody else who may be going through something, and you're there to help. And then you see how quick your victory comes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good thing. Because that's what God really wants us to do. Not focus on us, because He already is going to take care of us. We just want us to probably focus on others, and try to help them, that the ones that don't know that God will take care of them.
So when we start to have our emotional pity parties, we have to think how this looks to God. Unbelief calls God a liar. That's very powerful. When we doubt, when we have unbelief, we're basically calling God a liar, that your promises and stuff is not true. And that's kind of deep. So when we lose our faith and get emotional, we start to resent leadership. They were ready to get rid of Moses and Aaron, and these two were the best leaders they could have. When unbelief is in our lives, it can thwart God's purpose for our lives. Faith is very powerful, but unbelief is powerful in a negative way. In the scriptures, it talks about how Jesus was baptized and went back to his hometown. He was unable to do a lot of his work because of their unbelief. His hands was tied. He couldn't even go back to his hometown and do anything and heal people, because they didn't believe that. What kind of family was it? Was it a shepherd boy family, or what? Carpenter family. They couldn't believe that a guy born in a carpenter family could do things like that. So he couldn't even do nothing to help his own people because of unbelief.
It's not saying that God needs us. God is all powerful. God doesn't need us per se. He doesn't need that. We weren't existing at the beginning of the world. He didn't need us to believe that the world was created, because we weren't there. But God is not pleased with unbelief and lack of faith. And God must be pleased in order to do good in our lives. So you have to have that the belief and the faith, and that makes Him come through and work in your life. But He doesn't need us, because He could create without us. He could make things happen without us.
So you have big faith. You have a big God. According to your faith, so be it unto you. And then they started to complain. Unbelief is the mother to complaining and murmuring. People filled with unbelief are always murmuring and complaining about life. Complaining about your spouse, government, bosses, God is listening to all of that. So I feel the best thing to do, if you have something bad to say or negative to say about anything, anybody, any situation, about yourself, anything, just do not say it at all. Because it is us. We are in the natural, we see each other in the natural eye, but there is a spiritual world around us that's listening to what we are saying and reporting it back to God. And it cannot get done if we're speaking negatively. So the next chapter I'm going to read from is Philippians chapter 2, verse 14 and 15.
So be thankful for what He's doing for you, whatever you do for Him. Do it without arguing, complaining. Everything you do should be blameless, innocent, and above reproach. You are God's children living in a corrupt world. You are the light in the darkness, like stars lighting up the night skies.
What you get from that?
Do it cheerful, without complaining, without saying a word, but just giving glory to God. Even if we're going through a dark time in our life, we just give thanks and praise because we know that the Lord is taking us through this, and He's not taking us through this to reject us at the end. He's taking us through this for a reason.
Yeah. And I just feel that a lot of times when we start complaining and feeling sorry for ourselves, we're getting to our feelings, and God doesn't want us to get into our feelings. You know what I mean? When we start getting to our feelings, we just need to, just think about what God did for us in the past. How He's been good to us, and then and then like Sheree said, also try to help and encourage other people. Once you forget about yourself, and start focusing on somebody else, it seems like your problems just go away. You know what I mean? So another thing is, if God can take care of us and not complain, who are we to be complaining? So that wraps up my study, and this is a study that I listen to a lot of pastors, and this is a study I got from Pastor Simbal from Brooklyn Tabernacle Church, and I just started every day. Sometime when I feel down, I just have to read over this stuff because it kind of brings back life to me, understand, and let me know that my words have power. My tongue has power to either create a prosperous life for me or a negative life for me. You know what I mean? And back in my early times, I didn't know how powerful that was, but now I know. And I thank God. I know now because in God's word He said, "My people perish because lack of knowledge." So this stuff is very important. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to what I have to say.
Yes, bye you guys. And also as well, please subscribe to our channel. Tell your family, your friends about our channel, and thumbs up.
And please send in your prayer requests. Send in your prayer requests. We will pray over them for you. And you can even send us topics that you want us to talk about. Anything. So thank you.
As well as you can, when we ask each other questions too at the comments, down below. So, just.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Next week, full force week is good. It's fake
The week after. That's not our business.